Hi, let's dive deep into a concept called flow or getting in the zone. Why is it so essential for achieving our peak performance? And of course, some practical steps that you can use to tap into this powerful state of focus. So let's begin our today's episode. First of all, let us understand flow. What is it and why does it matter? Let's start by breaking down what the flow state actually is. It is that state where we are so absorbed in an activity that everything else fades away. Time seems to stop, our mind feels effortlessly engaged, and our actions seem so aligned seamlessly with our goals. It is what some describe as being in the zone. Now, whether it's athletes at the peak of their game, artists creating masterpieces, or coders solving complex problems, flow is the mental state that fuels top performance. Why does flow matter so much? Well, when you are in flow, your brain releases a blend of chemicals like dopamine, endorphins, norepinephrine, and these not only enhance your focus but they also improve your memory, your learning, and your overall mood. Research also shows that people who regularly achieve flow experience higher levels of satisfaction and are often more productive. In other words, the flow state can be a pathway to achieving not only more success in our tasks but also more enjoyment in what we do. Now, what is the science behind the zone? What helps us get there? Flow happens when there's a balance between the challenge of the task and your skill level. If something is too easy, you'll get bored. If it is too hard, you'll become anxious. But when you find that sweet spot where the task is challenging enough to keep you engaged, yet it's within your capabilities, flow becomes much easier to access. Your brain also plays a key role here. In a flow state, your brain enters what's called transient hypofrontality. What does this mean? This is simple. This means that the prefrontal cortex of our brain, it is that part of our brain which is responsible for self-doubt, for self-consciousness and time awareness. This part temporarily quiets down. We stop overthinking, self-criticism will just disappear, and you become fully immersed in the present moment. Now that we have understood the flow state, let us quickly see some techniques for getting into this state. Number one, of course, setting clear goals. This is one of the most important prerequisites for flow. Why? Because it gives us clarity. Having a clear intention before we start a task, like we ask ourselves, what am I aiming to achieve in this session? Or define what success looks like for that specific task. For example, if you are writing, your goal might be to finish a certain number of paragraphs, or if you are working on a project, it might be to complete a specific component of it. So, setting clear goals is our primary task. Number two, we have to eliminate distractions. Flow requires completely uninterrupted focus. So, turn off those notifications, silence your phone, and let others know you are in the do not disturb mode. Studies show that it takes around 25 minutes to refocus after an interruption. So, it is necessary to set up an environment that minimizes distractions, and this becomes an essential for sustaining our flow. Number three, using the Pomodoro Technique. I do not quite resonate with this technique because it is like 5 minutes of break after every 25 minutes of focused effort. I have tried it. Somehow for me this technique works like a 45 minutes plus 5 minutes break or a 50 minutes 5 minutes break. So here I have a small suggestion. Since Pomodoro is a widely used technique, I would suggest that you try it and see what is your exact time frame? Do you want a 5 minutes break after 25 minutes of focused effort, or a little beyond that? But this technique essentially helps us build our focus stamina, and it makes it easier to sustain longer periods of uninterrupted work, and we enter into flow over the time. Number 4, like we mentioned, that matching our skill level with the task challenge will make this flow easier. So we have to match it. If a task feels too easy, raise the difficulty a bit. Add constraints or increase your goal. If it is too challenging, break it down into smaller, manageable pieces until you feel more comfortable with the task. And lastly, our most favorite, engaging in mindfulness practices. This improves our ability to concentrate and stay in the present moment. I don't know how many times have we repeated this in the tribe, because it is extremely essential for achieving our flow state. Even a few minutes of meditation daily could help, as it trains our brain to focus on the now. Use journaling if you don't like meditation, because it will make easier to avoid getting lost in all the distractions or getting into the self-doubt mode. Coming to one of the most important aspects of a flow state. We done with some 5 techniques, so you can practice these 5 techniques, but there's something more crucial than that, which is cultivating a flow ready mindset. The right mindset is essential for accessing flow. Last entire month we've been discussing about the growth mindset, because it encourages viewing challenges as opportunities rather than threats. It helps in staying open to complex or demanding tasks. This was one of the biggest reasons we knew we were going to have November month as focus month. So we laid the foundation with the mindset in the month of October. Once you go through all our content, our resources on mindset, this month's focus techniques will add up to it. Now, a growth mindset, like I said, encourages viewing challenges as opportunities rather than threats. It helps us in staying open to complex or demanding tasks. And of course, practicing self-compassion is another valuable tool. It removes all that self-criticism, which can be one of the biggest barriers to deep focus. And another key aspect of a flow-ready mindset is curiosity. Approach tasks with a sense of exploration. See them as puzzles or games. When we see them in this manner, the approach reduces the pressure, and it makes it more likely that you enter a relaxed state conducive to flow. Some very quick tips. Getting into the flow could be one thing, but staying in it could be challenging. So to have that consistency, take regular breaks. Because while it may seem counterintuitive, breaks can actually help us sustain flow over longer periods. Take a short walk, or do some stretches, or simply closing your eyes could help you recharge and return to the task with renewed focus. Also, keep reflecting on your progress. At the end of each flow session, take a moment to reflect on what you've achieved. This will boost your motivation and will set a clear starting point for your next session. And lastly, embrace the process. Remember that flow is as much about enjoying the journey as it is about reaching the goal. So embrace the learning, embrace the challenges, and of course, embrace the incremental progress. Achieving flow regularly requires intentional practice, and you have to make those environmental adjustments. Of course, not to forget a supportive mindset. As you integrate these techniques, you will find it easier to slip into the zone and sustain peak focus, peak creativity, and peak productivity. Whether you are an athlete, an artist, a writer, or a business professional, learning to harness the power of flow could be transformative. Thank you for tuning in today. Remember, focus is a skill, and like any other skill, it improves with consistent practice. So find that balance, set your goals, and embrace the journey into the flow state. We at the Tribe of Transformers are always there for you to help you build this flow state. So connect with us, subscribe, share your feedback, and let's be together in this journey.